Hey everybody, it's a beautiful Saturday evening, August 5th, 2023. I'm out at my campsite down in the quarry, and I thought it'd be a great time to do another general update. I think it'll be number 3 for this year. If you're not familiar with these, I just sort of get you caught up on where I'm at and what I'm thinking about. And we're going to talk about these, but also a few things associated with these that be interesting. And I hope you stick around. So lately, I and a lot of other people have been pretty excited about mechanical stuff. I'm not sure why. It's been around for a long time, but it is sort of fresh and new. Make sure this is in focus. There we go. So the other night, I saw Lefty EDC, Kev, over there on his YouTube channel, Lefty EDC. He was really excited about his EDC Pig Slider that's in Ultim. It's a pretty new product. This would be a simplified version of that. I have no idea who made this one, but I sort of felt the same way about this as he does about that. And I don't know if he watches my videos or not, but I sort of wanted to put this up and talk about it a little bit. You know, if you're interested in that one, this would be a much cheaper alternative. This was, I think you can find it for about $50. And I think what I'm going to do is just like I don't provide links anymore. If you see some of my comments and stuff, just because AliExpress can't be trusted and they change their links. So what I usually do is tell you in the video how to search for stuff. But in this case, if something catches your eye here and you want to know how to find it, throw something in the comments down there and I will tell you how to search for it on AliExpress or wherever it was that I found it. Yeah, so this, anyhow, yeah, the pig nose slider. And let me stop right here and show a photo of what that actually looks like. That's a very pretty slider. It has 3 sets of divots, 3 rows of divots, I should say, and 3 balls and 3 springs right in the middle. And it's a little bit more complicated. It has extra parts that would be sort of decorative plates that screw on. That would be something. If you were to alter this one, it would be like adding screwed on decorative plates to this. So that's like an extra feature. And I don't. One of the things I was going to say about that was it's screwed on. There's those 4 extra screws for these decorative plates, and you're probably not going to be taking them out and putting them back in a lot because it's not something that you need to actually do to maintain the slider. So, because I don't like the idea of, especially with Ultim or anything plastic, of heavily using the screws, especially if they're small with fine thread, because that's even more likely to strip and wear out and everything like that. I think with Ultim, like, you're pretty safe as far as the design goes to use large screws like this that have like sort of a more large, you can sort of see it through there, a very coarse, large thread, so that they don't start to wear apart when you frequently take them in and out. Other than that, I think it's a neat slider. I was tempted to get it before. Now, after watching his video, I'm really tempted to get one, except for the cost. They're, I think you can find one for around $100 now, shipped. But I may wait and see a few more reviews on it. This one, another thing about this one is mine came with the transparent insert, we'll say, this middle part that comes out. And the ones that I see on AliExpress now often have what appears to be a white Teflon insert, which it would be a concern if you want something that's nice and transparent. This did not come with both options. Now, the one Kevin reviewed is it came with both a Teflon insert and a clear insert, but he was having some issues, he thinks, maybe with the clear insert. So yeah, if you're into those, if you're into these, this is definitely a highly recommended piece. I did a review on it, so if you want more details, you can go check that out. My most recent mechanical, and unfortunately I think I bought the last one, and it's from a seller that I'm not sure how trustworthy they are, because they said they had 50 of these. I bought one and all of a sudden they were gone. They do have one. It's in G10, so it's like a fiberglass and Teflon insert. No other alternatives. It just came with that. And it's a spring and a ball in there. Nothing fancy. These are just like the 1-pal, sort of. Actually, very much like the 1-pal, because you've got the two guiding grooves in here. There's 2 set screws on the inside that keep them in that groove, and that prevents you from sliding this all the way off. So that's all pretty much the same design concept. But this one is just so. This is like my go-to for the last week and a half, maybe more than that. It's just the right. Doesn't make too much noise, so it's just perfect for work. And I just love the colors. I wish it had more orange in it. I love it. I was gonna get. Yeah, I have it here. One of these in the same thing, the very same thing. And this is sort of a stand. You could find this, like if you were going to go buy raw G10 blocks, you can find this pattern. So they had this available in that pattern, and I was interested in getting it. But now we'll just skip ahead to this one. This model is now available with removable magnets. So each magnet is something I wanted to tell you, sort of an update. Each magnet can be removed, and a different magnet can be put in, maybe a different strength or something. But there's a little set screw next to each one of these, and I guess instead they're not glued in anymore, so you can remove them. But unfortunately, I mean, this cost almost $60 or $70. I'm not thrilled with it. I did a review on it. You can check that out if you like. It's just a little too wobbly for me when it's out the whole way. I would like to get this version, except all of the new updates, the ones that have the screws in them, are all metal. So it has to be whatever metals that they have. The one that's in this G10 material, they didn't do that at all. Again, probably because of issues like I said with this other one over here. Screws, especially small screws in plastic, aren't really a great idea. They can wear out, they can strip. So we sort of jumped ahead to that one. But yeah, you can find this one. Supposedly he has these in G10, but they're red and black. So it's just this red and black. He says he has 50, but I doubt it. And it was a little on the expensive side too. But yeah, I wish they'd make some more of these and bring them down to a reasonable price, because that is a sweet, sweet piece. In fact, let me just go ahead and pause right here. I'm going to go find a picture to show you what this one in G10 looks like. So you see, it's really very much like that one. So the other night, Sean over on the Fidget Fix did a review on not this, but the Wan Wu HiFi Boy, it's called, and it's very similar to this, and it was a real eye-opener to me. I am, after watching his video, I'm very interested in getting one of those, because it's much more modular than this. This is sort of a simplified version. I think this came first, and like I explained in my review video, I don't consider them to be copies. They are different enough. And like I said, his has completely modular magnets in it. And there's things I'd like to be able to do with this, to try it. And I went into details with that in my video about this. I won't go over it again, but you can see I do have it set up in the only alternative method that I can. It's not really normally used like that. I've never seen anybody do that, but it's fun. And all I did was take everything apart and flip around this middle piece. And that made everything just opposing magnets. So it goes like that, and you can also, although it's a little bit more difficult, it's kind of, when you're using this normally, it's easiest to use it by holding it like a syringe. But I'm having some fun with that. I haven't had this out and played with it that much in a long time. This sort of gave me an excuse. But that was something I did recently that was worth maybe bringing up again. This one is now available in Ultim, and I'm really on the edge of getting that too. We'll see how finances are. Things could add up pretty quickly here, but I have a newfound love for Ultim. Like I said, as long as there's not too many screws going into it, it would probably be something else. And if you've seen the video for the new one, if you're familiar with this, like I have the early stainless steel, so it does this, but that's all it does, and it can go back and forth. And that, to me, that's pretty awesome. Then they came out with one in Zerk that has a sort of a zipper function that allows this piece to slide back and forth. But I'm not a Zerk person, and it didn't seem appealing enough for me to spend the extra money. I was happy with this. But now they have the PEI or Ultim version of this, and again, they've made a slight modification because of the strength of the Ultim and the internal parts being made out of Ultim. They explain that they cannot incorporate this rotation feature, and they cannot incorporate the zipper feature that can be found on the Zerk model. What they do have is a linear slider that only goes back and forth, but they've incorporated a much finer set of divots, and I think the throw might be about the same. What I mean by that is the distance that it travels, but I think it has many more divots, and it would be pretty nice to experience that in Ultim, I think. We'll see. We'll wait and see maybe how many people like that. I have to try to be patient and wait to see what other people think about things. I just don't have the money to blow on everything. Otherwise, I'd have so much to talk about. But patience. And if you follow me, then you probably know recently I recently took apart my 3-level version of this. There's a brass insert you can buy, but you have to have two. These are called Top B sliders, and they're made by Metal Toys DZ. One of these has the original, we'll call it the Z plate. It only has a few clicks on it, and this one has the ZZ plate, which has a bunch of clicks on it. And that made this worthwhile to me. That and the fact that I added some Teflon friction tape underneath here in a couple places. But again, I talked about that on another video. You can go back and check that out. The brass piece is going off to a friend who he'll take the time to explore it better than I did, and I think he has more spare parts to explore it than I do. One of the things I brought up recently was that it would be nice if we could get the balls and springs and the little brass caps for these products a little bit easier and for a little less money. I don't know if somebody told me to check with the Top B people, Metal Toys DZ, and because they can get them for me, but I want to see what they're charging, because on AliExpress it's ridiculous, the pricing. But I'm pretty happy with these being the way they are. I mean, I'm happy to have the samples in my collection. I'm much happier with this one than I am with this one, but I never was really happy with these, or that one, anyhow. So there is where we are with the top row. I'm going to take a little break and wet my whistle, and we'll keep going. Okay, now we're ready to move to the second row. I did a review on this as well, the Magnetic Cashew Nut by Gal Studios. This was a bit underwhelming for me, just because it's so light and doesn't give much of feedback, much of a haptic response. But there are plenty of people that would absolutely love this, and it would be perfect for under the desk in a meeting, something like that. They do make a version of this now that has a flat little insert in the middle that lets it extend a little bit further. This was about $25. I think they got the new one with the middle insert. It also has a little bit of a thing that extends out It's like a keychain attachment point. But I think it's about 25 or 30 bucks. And I'm just not curious enough to buy it because it's probably not much better than this. On the other hand, and let's just pause right there. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you see, I think they have, I know they had it in red. I'm not sure what else they have, what other colors they have that in. But I have, if you haven't seen it yet, the new mechanical version of the magnetic, it's not magnetic, of the cashew nut, I guess. There is a mechanical version of this coming out. I have it in stainless steel. It's going to be satin finish stainless steel, so hopefully it won't be slippery like a polished surface might be. It's on the way, should be here pretty soon. Really looking forward to that. Let me show you what that looks like. So we'll see. We'll see. There'll be something a bit new from Gal Studios. Now the 01 EDC Mechanical. I didn't know till after I bought this that it can be bought in 2 different versions. So this has the close. We'll reference, you know, how Metal Toys DZ does it. They've got their Z plate and their ZZ plate. Well, this is like the ZZ plate, so it has lots of little indents, lots of detents, as you can hear. But there is a version of this that has fewer. I don't know how many fewer, but it would be a different experience. However, I don't have the kind of money to go get one of those. I'm happy enough with this one. On the other hand, I'm really happy that, you know, 01 is just, they keep putting stuff out like crazy. And now they've put out, if you follow the websites there on Facebook, it's going to be it's going to look like this, maybe a little bit wider, I think. I'll show you a picture of it in a minute. But it's going to be 2 levels, not 3 levels. And it'll have different metal options. And it's going to have, you're going to be able to get it in this close pattern or the slightly less dense pattern, or like the Z plate and the ZZ plate on Metal Toy DZ products. And you're going to be able to get one of each, and they've expressed that they wanted to make it affordable, so it's going to be around 50 bucks. I think you can get one right now if you go look up, I think it's A Plus Fidgets. The fellow's name's Siki Wang. I'll put it across the screen here somewhere. And also, I believe, Emmanuel Fidelis and his site, I can't think of what his site's called now. I think he has these up too. I'll put that up. I could be wrong. If one of these guys doesn't have it up, then I'll put a correction across the screen somewhere. But I'll put their Facebook group names up for you to look them up. So there's a pre-order if you want to do that. But that was like 40 to 60 days and stuff. And again, I'd kind of like to see some come in and see what people think of them first. I'm pretty sure you'll find them on AliExpress in a matter of weeks. That's just how things go. So let me show you what those 2 look like. I mean, they look the same on the outside, and like I said, the only difference would be that one has the close, the dense set of detents, and the other one has the less dense set of detents. But here's a picture. And I think they look great. It would match this one. It would match this one very nicely. And I'd like to have the option of both. So that is what I have to say about that one. This one, who did? Somebody just did a review on theirs. And I had no idea. Now this is like version 2 of, I think it's the Gal Studio rifle. And I don't know if it's still called the rifle or not. But this is magnetic. I don't know what the first one was, but now I think they're up to version 3 or version 4. And I didn't know it, but it's mechanical. And it has springs and balls in it. And it has probably a similar function to this one. Like it goes a couple bump, 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 bump this way, bump back, but then it's like one solid movement to the back. I'm curious about it. I think one of the ways you can tell it apart from the earlier versions is the newer one has sort of an oval slot down here rather than just a single hole for a lanyard. It has an oval slot. It also has a slot up in here that you can put some little balls into. It retains them, but they can move back and forth in there, so it rattles a little bit. It's just another haptic feature that you can have. You know, I'm going to look whoever that was up so that you can go look at their video review of it, and I'll put that across the screen here too. But here's a picture of what the new one looks like. And I'm really tempted, but we'll see, you know, finances and whatnot. So the next thing would be, I just wanted to update you on this. As you know, I went from being really anti Teflon tape to very much pro Teflon tape. However, I use it sparingly, and I thought this one would be a great one to try it with. I thought it was getting a little bit gritty, and I don't have an actual roll of Teflon tape. All the tape, somebody asked me the other day, where do you get your tape at? I haven't bought any yet. All the tape that I've used so far was just salvaged from, like it came with another slider. And a lot of those sliders were the, I don't have any with me here, but they were the carbon fiber sliders, things like that. They came with extra stickers. You're familiar with it. A lot of these sliders now often come with an optional Teflon sticker that's been pre-cut to fit right in here and everything. But they often too much look like a Band-Aid. I mean, like literally, they're the same color and texture as a Band-Aid, which is kind of disgusting to me. And I'd like to find black tape. I prefer black. It just goes with stainless steel. Almost everything I collect is stainless steel. And I wanted to try it this way anyhow, and see if it improved things with my CP3, and it did. But it's also revealing something. Let me make sure this is focused, get as close as I can. If you look at the top two up here, they're starting to get cut up, and I'm trying to figure out, well, what's doing that? And I think it's the same on the other side. Yeah, they're starting to get cut up. And I thought, well, what in the world could be causing that? Because I looked at everything, you know, you hold this thing at an angle, and you look down, and you make sure that all these magnets are just below the surface, so that nothing interferes. That'd be a big problem when that happens. And nothing is in the way. So what is causing that? And I came to the conclusion, not that this is going to help anybody, or I thought it was interesting, worth sharing anyhow, but when this thing's traveling, you know, it is jumping in the air a little bit as it advances from spot to magnet, let's say. And the only thing I can figure is somehow the sharp edge, this sharp edge right here, is coming down. Is that what it was? No. This sharp edge, the surface that the magnets are on, this edge right here. That sharp edge is actually, I'm going to exaggerate it, but when it's going through the air, it's coming down and digging into that. And that is why this has been feeling kind of rough lately, I think. So that's an interesting observation. At least that's what I think is happening. If I had a full body of tape going across here, that might not happen. That would sort of spread out the whatever stresses are happening in that little split second here over a greater surface. So it might be worth me trying to put more tape on here. So that was the update on that. Now the update on this was also Teflon tape related. This is titanium, and most of us know titanium on titanium doesn't rub very well. It gets gummy. It doesn't want to slide nice. Now this is not titanium on titanium. but there's either a brass or bronze piece for the middle, and you know it doesn't help matters much at all. It binds up just as though it was they may as well have made the whole thing out of titanium, because it gets gummy. It's just not pleasurable at all. And I did discover one of my magnets is messed up. It actually needs to be taken out and replaced, because its polarity, strangely enough, is you know, normally on these disc magnets, polarity is north and south, or the other way around. So the top side of the magnet is north, say, and the bottom side is south. But the other way you can purchase some of these magnets is, and I forget what the technical term for it is, but some of them are available where they're magnetized left and right. Now that's hard to say that on a circular magnet, but just imagine drawing a line right down through the middle of this magnet, and the right side of it is pointing this way and is north, and the other side, the other half of the magnet, is that way and pointing south. And that is what I found in one of these. It's either this magnet or this magnet, and it's just contributing to how it's already just not a very strong. The magnets are not strong enough for this, and because it's titanium, it's gumming up. And I was putting oil on it, which does that. That's the only thing that seems to work. And the only good thing about that is these rails are so down here and embedded inside the design that they don't, even when it's opened up and they're oily and dirty, you don't really touch it with your fingers. It doesn't get on your skin or anything, so it doesn't matter. You can use oil. But in an attempt to avoid using oil, I cut real thin black Teflon tape strips that fit down in these grooves. That's the only place that it would work, because that's where the friction surface is on this. You see the lighter finish here on this brass or bronze piece. It's like that because it's been rubbing. Anyhow, the Teflon tape it didn't work well at all. For one thing, that tape that I have is fairly thick, and even though we look at it, it seems as thin as paper, but paper can be different thicknesses too. And any bit of thickness you put between these magnets makes the magnets even less stronger than they are. And it was just really weak, and when it was out into this position, it would be susceptible to coming apart on you. So I'm going to go back to putting oil on this, and I could just say I would advise against maybe getting this in titanium, although I don't know if it was available in anything else. I'm really not sure. So that is it for the middle row. I'll take another little short break. Was there anything that I wanted to show you that I didn't show you? I don't think so. Well, yeah, I think I was going to say, most of you probably saw there's the latest thing. Now, you know, Mackie, when it was back, when these were made, the CP2, or the CP3, I'm sorry, this is the CP3, it was Mackie Studio. And after, I don't know at what point it happened, but now Mackie is an entity by its own, and 01 is an entity by its own. They're not the same place anymore. And I believe this guy is actually the guy we'd call Mackie. I don't know how that worked out, but what I saw, and you're probably already aware of, is Mackie Studio came out with, they're calling it the CPX, which is kind of neat because it's X in China. Like this one is 773. If by chance the serial number or the what would you call that? Just the batch number on this one, if it was 774 in China, 4 is an unlucky number like 13. So they put a X in place of the 4, which is just kind of neat, I think. Superstitions are silly, but 77X is what this would read if it was actually 774. And the new model is called the CPX. So they never made a CP4. They went directly from CP2 to CP3 to CP5. So now there's a CPX. And what it is it's pretty much half of one of these. If you can imagine just having this, and the back plate sticks out a little bit further, and it has a lanyard attachment, and the other difference is there's a rocker plate on this front. So it like slides in one direction, just like this does. They're interchangeable. They're like, you can take it off and you can use it with these parts. But this part right here would be a rocker, And I think it comes with another optional thing that you can put in there that maybe goes back and forth rather than rocks. I'd like to show you a picture of that in case you're interested. I have to say I'm not interested enough because it's about $100. But here's what that looks like. Okay, so that is it for the second row. I'm going to take a short little break here. You won't feel a thing. I'll be right back. Okay, on to the last row here. This should go fairly quick, except for the fact that this one, let me focus, they come full circle in, I believe it's ebony wood with the brass plates. You could get this with copper and copper plates and copper insert. And I did a review on this, but the reason I brought this along is because I've seen now that the new version of this is available, and it has, it's metal. Well, it's like the internals are all plastic, and that's what concerns me. It looks really interesting because it's modular, but you'd have to buy, there's 3 versions of it, so imagine it looks about the same as this. One is like a friction slider, a friction plate slider, one's mechanical, and one's magnetic. Another magnetic type of, I can't remember exactly, but I'm going to throw a picture of them up here in a second. But I'm going to hold off on that too because I want to see how, I don't know, sturdy the internals appear to be. I don't like the idea of spending a lot of money for something that just has like a metal casing and then everything else on the inside is plastic. It just seems wrong on a couple different levels. But yeah, here's a picture of that. And like I said, I think each one's over $100 a pop, I think. And there was a pre-order for these through somebody, and might be the same guys I talked about earlier. I don't know if that's probably over by now. But I think I've seen them, you know, if I have a picture of it, I've seen it on AliExpress, of course, so that's where you'll find it. I brought these 2 along just to remind you that I did did a review on both of them recently. Actually, this one was the first one I did a review on. These are both new mechanical coins, unknown maker, unknown names, AliExpress, and they're very reasonable. This one was about $25.30. This one's about $35.40. This is stainless steel. They also have it in zirconium. And I forget what the price, but of course it was higher than stainless steel. And I just did a review on this the other day where I compared the 2. You can tell what I think about them there and how they perform against each other. And earlier in the week when this arrived, I did a video especially about this one. So go check those out. Definitely worthwhile. Like I said in both of these videos, it is similar in design to the Top C by Metal Toys DZ, but I consider it to be different enough. And I won't go into details about that. If you want to see both of these videos, I explain that. And like I said, I think it's well worth you looking into if you want to save some money or just get introduced into the world of mechanical stuff. And lastly, I did a batch of these. These are my design. It's called the lens cap coin. It's actually lens caps. And it's sort of like the puffer fish or the puffer crash. And you get this, it comes with a set of 75 buttons. 25 of them are soft push, 25 of them are a little harder to push, and the other 25 are even harder to push. So you can take this apart, it unscrews, and I've color coded. Like I said, you'll get 75 buttons, and they'll either be yellow, green, or red. And it's just like a stoplight. Green means it's soft, yellow means it's medium, and red means it's hard. But these all pop out, and you can put them in any kind of arrangement that you like. And I sell these for $40 plus shipping. I made an offer on YouTube, and I ended up selling only 6. but that meant that a lot of buttons, 6 times 75, a lot of buttons had to be prepped. So these are a lot of work, and I'm not looking forward to doing it again. And I know if I raise the price, it'll sell even less. So I'm just curious if you watched the video through this to this point, if anybody's actually interested in these. I did not receive a lot of interest. I did get a few friends that ordered them from me, did a review video. I won't link to it or anything, but a very favorable review and very kind of them to do that. But nobody really bugged me about it, so I don't know if there's much of an interest in these or not. It's a great alternative, I think, to the pufferfish. But like I said, I'm not too excited about making a bunch more right now. I think I need a bit more time to pass by. In the meantime, this was another design that I modified a while back. I just call this the magnetically modified infinity cube, and that's exactly what it is. This happens to be a model that you can find on Amazon or AliExpress. It comes in different colors, patterns. Now it has colors and patterns. I like those better. This is blue with a pattern like a starry night, sort of a starry night pattern on it. And what I do is I carefully install 48 magnets. Now, these go for like 50 bucks. That's 40. This is 50 plus shipping. And that really turns people off too, I think. But the initial batch that I did, it might be a year and a half, 2 years ago now, they went pretty well. I think I sold around 20, 25. I know I made around 30. I gave some away and stuff. They went pretty well, and time passed, and then people were bugging me, hey, when are you going to make more of these? I really want one and everything. And then I went ahead and I made 16, including these new pattern colors, and put them up, and all those people disappeared. So I've just been lazy, because putting them up for sale means you have to do all that communication with people, and then you have to package everything up and go to the post office. But then if you don't do that, you don't sell anything. Either way, they didn't really sell, and I have 14 or 13 of them left. And I think the thing is, I did not make them available to YouTube people, and because I really didn't know how to do that. When I sold these, I decided to set up a special email account just for sales on Gmail, and I sold a bunch of these on YouTube. So I just wanted to say I have these for sale now, and I'm going to make them available for sale on YouTube. So hopefully the larger audience here will find an interest in this. Try to get you a little bit out of practice, but it's not really a one-handed fidget. At least I haven't figured out a great way to do it. Maybe I'm not that good at it. It would be nice on your desk. It fits in your pocket nice if you leave it flat like this. And you can watch the videos, go back and look through my videos. I did a video about how I made this, and the introduction video and everything, so I don't want to go through all that again. But just to let you know, these will be available. I'd be curious to know also in the comments if you might be one of those people that would be interested. And I think that's it. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Let's finish this up. I might have said that this was going to lead to talking about a couple other ones, and I wanted to do that. Like I said, the 3 new versions of this seem to have plastic guts on the inside, and there's 2 new ones that are out that have my curiosity up a little bit right now. And one is by Cosmo42, and I'm going to show you a picture of that right now. And again, I'm not sure about the internals on that. Are they plastic? The other thing about that is it says Cosmo on the front, but if you go back and look at it, it looks like COSMD, not COSMO. I mean, it really looks like a D. It's messed up. That's how much it looks like a D. I don't know why they didn't adjust their font to fix that, but that's one of those little things that bug me. Either way, I'd like to wait and see what other people think about it. It's available in different materials too, but what are you buying? Just a metal shell and a bunch of plastic cheap guts? That's what I'd like to know about that one. And the other one, I'm forgetting the name of it right now. Hold on a second. It was called the Lee Studio, I believe, LEE slider, and it looks like it's built almost the same as that Cosmo. And I'm just curious about that one too. But again, are the guts internal? There was another one I was thinking of. It's called the Oh Yeah Manufacturing. Shit, I forget the rest. Push something, but it is. It's kind of a weird construction. Here's what it looks like. And I think there was a pre-sale with possibly with those same fellows that I've mentioned earlier on Facebook, but that's available on AliExpress too now in different materials. And I'm just not sure about it because it just seems the demonstrate. Actually, I've seen a friend on Facebook demonstrate it for me. It doesn't ladder. It just kind of floats around, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. It just seems a little too random for me. And the other one that kind of makes me feel that it might be a little too random is this one. Now that one's called the JMEB slider, and that's being made in a small quantity batches, I think, right now, by some fellows that are on the Facebook groups. And I've seen that reviewed a couple times, and it just seems like it might be a little too random for me too. I'd like to hear everybody's thoughts on that, those items too. So I think that's about it. This will probably be a lot longer than normal, but I don't know. I felt like doing something different, and I figured it'd be interesting to talk about some things I don't have, throw some pictures into the video here. Like this is going to be really fun to edit later. But hopefully you found it interesting and useful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.